guys, how's it going? So as you can see, I'm back on the bike, back at Old Pacific Highway. Let me just close up my jacket. I wanted to give you guys a brief update on the crash and what happened and the damage to the bike. And essentially what happened was I lost traction. It was a bit too wet. It had just started raining. Now I did a few laps of this road prior to when I crashed, but when I came around this exact corner, and you might even be able to see some of the marks on the road. Oh, not really, it's kind of washed away. But when I came around that corner, you sort of saw, in the video you saw that I was leant over like this, and then the bike went down. Can't really do it without low-siding again. But the bike sort of slipped out, and then it came back up, and then it slipped out again, and that's the time that I crashed. Now, I'm not blaming the conditions, I'm not blaming the road, I'm not blaming the bike, I'm not blaming the tires, I'm not blaming the people who were watching me and caused me to show off a little bit. I'll admit that, completely admit that. It was completely my fault, 100% my fault. I was riding too fast for the conditions. I did not slow down for the changing conditions, and I wasn't thinking straight. And you can probably hear in the video, not sure if the audio is going to come through, but if it does, you'll hear me go, too wet, too wet, too wet, in my helmet. And that was me thinking it was too wet prior to entering that corner, but I just made a stupid decision. I didn't account for the wetness. That's what she said. Anyway, it's one of those things. When you're riding out on the road, the track is a little bit different, but when you're out on the road, you should definitely be riding below. I got into an argument online about this, below your skill level, above your skill level. It's just a matter of semantics and words, but you should be riding at about 80% of your skill level. How about that? So you have that 20% in case something goes wrong, in case someone pulls out, in case there's a log on the road, in case the road is really wet. The 20% is your buffer zone, and it's really there to stop you from crashing. So yeah, as far as damage to the bike, well, as you can see, I'm back riding in 2 weeks, so it wasn't a write-off. There was a few little bits and pieces. Left bar end was bent, so I got these. I don't know if you can see that. Next minute I crash again because I'm doing a video, but look at the carbon fiber. Whee! It spins around. Anyway, new bar ends, 20 bucks. Mirror's a tiny bit scratched. Who cares? I'll scratch that anyway, parking. Bar end, not bar end, frame slider, sorry, Augie knob frame slider. That's ground down a little bit. Yeah, that's about it. Have a bar end that's twisted there. Clutch lever twisted. Indicator completely smashed, but it still works, funnily enough. Oh yeah, I've got a little scratch on my fairing, which I'm a bit annoyed about, but can be fixed. Slider or Augie knob, as you can see there. That obviously protected my frame and my engine from damage. I'm very happy that I had those installed. And the gear shifter and gear rod are bent, but we can probably bend those back or replace them. Apart from that, the tank's all good. Obviously the engine's all good. Everything on the other side is all good. Little scratch on my mirror. Don't really care. What else? Oh yeah, so my rear fender is sticker bombed. JDM yo, it's sticker bombed. And not even kidding, when we picked the bike up, I had a look at the stickers. There's like multiple layers of stickers that I've put on, because I've like put on a sticker and I've gone, oh, I don't really like it, and I put another one on top of that. The first layer of stickers was scratched through. The second layer remained intact, and underneath that was my fairing. So technically the sticker bomb is like crash protection, not even joking. So there you go. If you want crash protection, add stickers. Not only do they increase horsepower, they protect your bike. So I just did a U-turn. We'll go a little bit slower through this corner because this is the corner that I crashed. Obviously I was coming the other way, but essentially I was exiting the corner and I just lost it right on the end there. And unfortunately Unfortunately, I slid across this center line and went into the opposing lane, which to me is as bad as a head-on collision. Like, although I was fine, and thankfully, touch wood, touch my head, nothing happened. But when you cross the center line on a public road and you know you haven't meant to do it, it's not like you're overtaking or anything, really consider that head-on collision. Consider that the worst thing that can happen, because if you make that a habit, if you cross the center line and you just brush it off and you say, oh, you know, I just made a mistake, mistakes happen, well, the next time that mistake happens, you could die, essentially. If there's a truck coming the other way, that's it, game over. So the fact that I crossed the center line really made me wake up, I guess, and I hope this is a new leaf in my writing book where I can think a little bit more. I was a bit too complacent. But anyway, that's probably a separate video altogether. I just done another U-turn. I'm heading back up the old mountain. The only other thing I wanted to mention was this, the RAM mount for my phone. You'll see in the video that the phone didn't budge throughout the whole crash. And I was quite impressed with RAM mounts. I might actually send them the video and say, you guys make, you know, decent products, because I was completely expecting my phone to just fly out at a crash. Like, you know, you don't plan to crash, but I was like, well, if I crash, it's a phone, it's replaceable, it's not a big deal. But nope, it stayed exactly where I put it and it wasn't damaged at all, so I was quite impressed with that. G'day mate, how you doing? The only other thing I wanted to mention briefly was my body position when I crashed. I'm not an expert at riding, I'm not an instructor, just get that disclaimer out of the way, but I was just a bit unsure of my body position. Like, there was photographers on the corner, so I was actively trying to get my left knee down for a better photo. I know it's stupid, but that's the truth. And to get knee down on the SV650 at a slower speed, so not at a race pace, but in this corner, for instance, you've really got to lean off the bike. You've got to move your weight far off the seat. Like, if you visualize my butt cheeks, I don't know if you want to do that, but if you want to visualize my butt cheeks, my right butt cheek is on the is on the left-hand side of the seat. I'm basically completely off the seat, and I'm really leant down, which will obviously affect the weight distribution of the bike, or the center of gravity, I should say. Did that contribute to me crashing? If I was more on the bike and more level with the bike, would that have prevented the loss of traction? Not sure, but it's something that I'll be thinking about from now on. Anyway, if you have any comments, please let me know. Again, I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing my experience and my crash. Hopefully get some discussion happening. We'll see how we go. Anyway guys, if this is your first time checking out my channel, feel free to check out all of the videos right here, and I appreciate you stopping by. If you like what you see, subscribe, like, favorite, blah 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 blah. Who gives a f? Anyway guys, I'm off. Cheers. Anyway guys, as I fix my bike, I'll be off. And hey, as I wait for this to be fixed, I always have this to play on.